New Hampshire. My name is Ben Alter alongside Nick Anastos, and this is Saint Anselm Men's Ice Hockey at StAnselmHawks.tv, powered by the PAC Network. It's an action-packed ECAC East weekend on tap for you here at the Sullivan Arena, starting with the Friday night matchup pitting the Hawks of Saint Anselm College against the Beacons of UMass Boston. This will be the second meeting between these two teams this year, and it'll bring us to the conclusion of an early season scheduling snafu. The fall hurricane that happened back here in November caused some problems with the ice here at Sullivan Arena, forced the Hawks out on the road to start the season at UMass Boston and at Babson. Well, this is the return weekend. These games were originally supposed to be played on the road. They are here at home, though, this weekend, and it gives us, Nick, a chance to look at the Hawks, which right now off to a terrific start, tied for second in the ECAC East, right in the thick of things at 5-3-1 in conference play, 8-3-2 overall, and have a chance to really separate themselves with games against UMass Boston and Babson this weekend.
It's been a while. We're here at home. Good to see the Hawks take advantage of a rare home date up until this point. We know who's been playing well, and that's Liam McKillop. He's the Northeast 10 reigning player of the week, had 4 points combined over the last 2 games during that time span, including a goal and an assist their last time out, a 4-3 loss against UNE. So I expect McKillop in that line, which includes the senior Mike Richard, who has also been playing well, to really step to the forefront and establish themselves early on in this game.
It was a split weekend for the Hawks last weekend. They actually had their 6-game unbeaten streak snapped up at the University of New England. It was the Nor'easters' first ever victory over the Hawks, but St. A's redeemed itself the next day out, Saturday, beating Southern Maine 5-2, the final score. They led 4-0 after an early third period goal and were pretty much able to cruise from there. Joe Tabano adding the late empty netter to account for the 5th and final goal. Meanwhile, UMass Boston off to a pretty good start as well, 11-3-1 overall, 4-3-1, tied for 4th place in the ECAC East. The one noticeable thing I look at when I see UMass Boston, though, they have played 10 of their 15 games at home, which is an unprecedented sort of imbalance in the schedule. A lot of their non-conference opponents have been home games, so this is only going to be their 4th true road game of the year, and you wonder how the Beacons are going to handle coming into what is sure to be a packed Sullivan Arena tonight, first week back at school for all Hawks students.
Yeah, this crowd should be raucous. First of all, the Beacons are deep, 15th ranked in the country. They took Norwich, the top-ranked team in the country, to a 1-1 tie. And then the fact that Frankie DeAugustine has led the way is not a surprise either. So they're certainly playmakers, and we'll get a much better read tonight on how the Beacons handle business away from home against this talented Hawks team.
Starters being introduced right now. Let's get you introduced to them as well. First, for the Beacons of UMass Boston on defense, it'll be John Houston, a 5'9", 185-pound sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Rob Florentino, 6'1", 190 pounds, a senior from West Roxbury, Massachusetts. On forward, Travis Daniel, 5'6", 165 pounds, a junior from North Brunswick, New Jersey. Max Rivas, 5'11", 165, a freshman from Omaha, Nebraska. And Mike DeGrazia, 5'10", 185 pounds, a senior from Novi, Michigan. In goal tonight for the Beacons will be Zach Andrews, 5'10", 174 pounds, a freshman from Coral Springs, Florida. He was the ECAC Rookie of the Week before this past week. And we'll get you started with the Hawks opening lineup right after the national anthem. This is Saint Anselm Men's Ice Hockey at StAnselmHawks.tv, powered by the PAC Network. Back here at Sullivan Arena, Saint Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire. Gave you the starting lineup for the Beacons beforehand. We'll run through it again quickly. Florentino and Houston on defense, and Rivas, Daniel, and DeGrazia, the starting forwards for the Beacons. Andrews in goal. Starting lineups for the Hawks on defense: Greg Crovo, 5'10", 170 pounds, a junior from Melrose, Massachusetts. He'll be paired with Gabriel Colonna, 6'2", 205 pounds, a sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The forwards: John Heislip, 6 foot, 180 pounds, a senior from Andover, Massachusetts. Kevin Vanos, 5'10", 175 pounds, a junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And Sean Jenkins, 6'1", 195 pounds, a sophomore from Boston, Massachusetts. In goal for the Hawks, Robert Kang, the 6 foot, 170 pound junior from Glen Rock, New Jersey, making his 9th appearance of the year. .284 goals against average and a .907 save percentage. My name is Ben Alter, along with Nick Anastos, ready for ECAC East Hockey here on a Friday night from Sullivan Arena. And Nick, the big story for the Hawks coming in: 2 key components missing, one due to injury and one still not sure, didn't get the official word, but Tim King is out with an upper body injury. He is among the team's leading scorers, 5 goals and 10 assists in 13 games this season. The first time out against UMass Boston, he was huge with a couple of big assists in that game. The other missing piece is John Ahern. He was on the ECAC honor roll this past week, along with the Northeast 10 honor roll. Ahern, the freshman from Melrose, also out for today's game.
That means Jenkins gets the start in the circle. Similar to King, they're both aggressive. They both like to mix it up. And they're both keen with the passing as well. They like to find open teammates.
Hawks wearing the home white sweaters, UMass Boston in the road blues with the white numbers. Colonna with a tough pass, backing up in his own end. Vanos back to help him out. Now Heislip rotating back. Can't backhand it out of the zone. Here's DeGrazia. He's put up nearly 30 points. He's averaging almost 2 points per game this year. Shot in from the point by UMass Boston, goes wide. Vanos over to collect the change. Now Colonna comes in to help as well. Travis Daniel tries to pin the puck to the boards. Jenkins finds a little bit of space and nudges it out. This is going to go as icing against Saint Anselm now. And the other question, along with King being out, not only how do they replace his production, but how does that affect the guys that King usually plays with? Liam McKillop, Mike Richard, those are the 2 guys King has played with the majority of the season. What is the ancillary effect on their production?
Well, like I said, I think it's going to have to be Jenkins, and he's going to have to play that role of facilitator, both in front of the cage and behind.
Quick shot off the draw, and a trickling glove save made by Kang. Puck still pinned in the Hawks zone. Fluttering back out to the middle of the blue line, held in there by Steve Weston. Now Cameron Harvey, a shot into the pile. It's kicked back out. Harvey can't control the rebound. A shot on and a score! Weston bounces one right through the middle and between the legs of Robert Kang, a minute in, and UMass Boston takes a 1-0 lead.
Well, I'm not so sure that Robert Kang knew where the puck was. Looked like he was screened. There was traffic in front of him. The freshman Peter McIntyre on the other side blocked his view, in my opinion, and that would explain the slowness on the reaction there from Kang.
An early start for UMass Boston. Weston, his 2nd goal of the year, senior from Henniker, New Hampshire, played at John Stark Regional. And the Hawks' inability to get the puck and really clear it out with any sort of quickness on that first possession comes back to hurt. Here's Tucker Mullen firing it in from center, the Hawks captain, and Mullen gets buried behind the play. Long breakout pass trickles under the stick of Derek Colucci, who fires it back toward the blue line. No icing as Crawford moves it back out to center for Tim Richter. He gets upended by Johnny Daniels. Hawks send the puck back in. Here's Richard over skating it. Loose puck comes to Jeremy Finger. Pass nearly intercepted there by the freshman Brian Sullivan, who's got to try and pick up his game here. He fires to Greg Merrill at the center line, feeding Richard coming right through the middle, trying to ward off a couple Beacons. He's still got the puck on his stick. Strong effort for the senior from Derry there. Sullivan in the corner. Back out to the left point, Crovo moves it across Alex Pascal. A wrister in, deflected on net, coming through the backside, trying for the tip-in was Sullivan. He got upended by Houston, and that's going to draw a penalty on UMass Boston.
Well, nice job passing along the blue line, trying to find a crack along the perimeter, and then just the wrister, I think, caught the goaltender by surprise there. Good reaction time, however, kept it out of the net. Pretty good-looking save by the freshman in the cage, Zach Andrews, having to deal with the wrister and the traffic in front of him.
Well, if Sullivan doesn't get upended there, it's a 1-1 game after the C-9 shot by Pascal. UMass Boston able to clear after winning the draw. Hawks this season 14 for 64 on the power play. 22%. UMass Boston has been pretty tough on the penalty kill. 48 of 58, 83% conversion rate in killing off penalties. Daniels slides it across the ice. Richard loads up, fires wide of the net. Rebound's going to come all the way out and cleared by Mike Kuhn. That allows the Beacons a chance to change out the penalty kill unit here. 35 seconds gone on the man advantage for Saint Anselm. They've got all their top guys out there as Jenkins eases it forward. Merrill touches it into the zone, and it'll be held in by Jenkins at the corner. Jenkins working against Florentino gets upended. Going into battle for it is McKillop. He gets tripped down, and the Beacons able to clear it out. Gagonis racing back. Kang out of his net. It's going to have to play the puck here into space, and up with it is Eric Zapka. Jenkins off the stick of McKillop to enter it into the zone. Held in by Merrill for Zapka. Trying to turn it down the boards. Jenkins first to it in the corner, tied up immediately by Cam Harvey. Zapka in the corner, looking to go back to the point. Merrill is the point man there. So dangerous at that spot on the power play last year, and you can see the Beacons have him scouted. They converge upon him right away. 30 seconds left. Quick give, centering pass, shot, and a score! McKillop with a one-timer beats Andrews low to the stick side. And it is a 1-1 game on the power play goal by Liam McKillop, his 10th of the season and second on the power play.
And I think it was Jenkins on the feed there working along the near side post, knew where his teammate was, and just like Tim King, was able to find his man in a position to succeed. We talked at the top of the broadcast how King's absence might be absorbed tonight by his teammates. Well, there is the sophomore Jenkins stepping up and making a play in front of the cage on the power play to find McKillop to tie the game.
Nice bounce back there by the Hawks, taking advantage of the Houston penalty and picking up the power play goal. So 4 minutes gone in the first period, and it is 1-1. Zapka's going to pick up an assist, and I think they got Tabano with the other one. Centering pass, deflected into the air away to the corner. Here's Daniel giving it off to Houston. A shot from the point. Kang almost lost sight of that one, too. He's able to smother it in the pads eventually and take in defensive zone faceoff. But those shots from the point really giving Kang trouble here in the early going.
Yeah, well, again, traffic in front of the net. And the shot a moment ago coming from the same angle as the goal. And that's straight away, which is a tough angle to pick up if you're a goaltender, and especially with bodies on both sides flying around in front of the crease.
Shot blocked by Johnny Daniels. Rebound to the corner. Greg Merrill with it for Saint Anselm. Merrill will start it up the middle. Fires it across the ice. Indirect pass. Sullivan will bring it across. Fires one toward the net. Deflected up into the air. And it'll stay in play. It didn't go off the protective netting. Just the upper edge of the glass. Steal by Sullivan in the offensive end. Moves it down to Daniels. Quick give to Richard. His wrist shot is blocked. Richard was a demon against the Beacons the first time through. 2 goals and 2 assists in the opener against UMass Boston, and that earned him Conference Player of the Week honors. Here's DeAugustine having his shot blocked by a sliding Greg Merrill. Gagonis controls behind the net. Merrill has some room, turns to look. Back to Gagonis on the far side. Cross ice pass out of the reach of Richard. It'll trickle across the blue line. Icing waved off. That allows the Hawks to get wholesale changes. Cam Harvey, DeAugustine, the touch pass, and tipped and stolen by McKillop. Settles the bouncing puck and takes it to the corner. Looking to give it to Mullen. His pass knocked up in the air. McKillop stays with it, kicks to the stick all the way to the far corner. Fires it back past Mullen. It'll come to the near side and gathered there by Niedzalak. His pass escapes Richter, and Pascal will fire it right back into the zone. Niedzalak gives it over to Harvey, gets the return feed. Niedzalak, a calming presence on the defensive end for this UMass Boston team. McKillop with a tip and a steal. Mullen feeds it to McKillop, holding on the backhand. A shot deflected wide. McKillop and Tabano working together here. Terrific effort by McKillop so far in the first period.
Yeah, he's been all over the place, anticipating where the puck is going to go. He's come up with a couple in the passing lane, and that's why he's the reigning NEC 10 Player of the Week, because he has been all over the place.
Here's a steal by Richter. Someone with a quick lift of the stick. A shot deflected just wide. Not sure whether that went off a Beacon or a Hawks skate. St. A is able to clear it back out to center. John Houston looking for the quick re-entry. Flips it in deep to the opposite corner. Racing after it, Jeremy Finger for UMass Boston. He and Pascal collide behind the net. Pascal trying to dig it out of there. frees it up for Heislip, who takes a hard shot from behind. Finger works it free. Centering pass knocked down by Ryan Donovan, getting a chance today with King and Ahern out of the lineup. Here's Zabka and Donovan up ahead. Zabka shot. Donovan couldn't quite get to it. Donovan in the corner, run off the play by Florentino. Now it's Kuhn coming up through center 1-on-2. He takes it wide and gets shoved off the play by, who was that? Tyler Esty, also getting a look. This is just the 6th game that Esty has played this year.
Well, you want to make an impression, go ahead and make a stick in open ice. Took a good angle there on the forward and got his body on him.
Shoves Kuhn down here on the defensive end. Florentino saves it at the blue line. Houston, a chip to the middle. Puck deflected away. Donovan will be first to it, and he'll be able to bring it out towards center. Gets to the red line, eases it into the offensive end as St. A's again wants to get a change. Houston, the long pass, nearly intercepted by Kelowna, but he frees it up for Merrill, fires it up looking for Jenkins. He and Florentino collide just outside the blue line. Somebody broke their stick. It's Florentino's who's down. So a defenseman without a stick right now for UMass Boston. Cross ice pass into open space. Merrill will get to it. Fires it across. Daniels with some open ice on the left side. Daniels centering feed deflected all the way back off the Beacon bench and down into the Hawk end. I don't know how it took that kind of deflection.
Well, it came in hot and heavy and took an odd bounce there.
One of the funky bounces I guess you'll see occasionally in this game. Harvey gets his stick lifted by Vanis. Jenkins and Harvey to the corner. Now Vanis comes in again. Ryan to move in front. Daniels a wrist shot. That one's deflected off the skate of a Beacon player all the way out of the rink.
I think it was Max Rivas got his left foot on it. Quick reaction there by the freshman, able to save a shot attempt. That one looked like it was lined up pretty well for Saint Anselm, but a heady play there on a knee-jerk reaction prevents the shot.
And the pressure from Vanis and Jenkins creates another power play opportunity. Cam Harvey going to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. So Hawks with their second power play opportunity, 1 for 1 so far. McKillop with the power play goal early. 12 minutes to go in the first period. Hawks will try to make it a 2-1 game here.
And that same line that scored, that same special teams unit, right back on the field for Ed Cini, on the ice rather.
4 forwards with Zabka making the point. Quick one-timer by Tabano, and the rebound jam by Jenkins was deflected wide. Merrill holding at the right point. Back to McKillop as the Hawks work the umbrella formation. Merrill at the top. Loose puck. Merrill able to bat it back in. Florentino gathers, fires it off McKillop's body. And so the Hawks will reset at center. McKillop will skate it across the blue line. Drop pass for Zabka. He'll move in toward the dot, pull it back for Merrill. He's got a lot of open space. Loads up a drive, looking for a deflection from McKillop, but it was kicked away by Andrews first. Puck rung around the boards and all the way out. So good job by Zabka, drawing everybody in deep. Merrill had a lot of room up top. Just waited for someone to drive to the net to look for that deflection.
Yeah, Zabka had him in mind the whole time and faked the defender out to free him up.
Here's Daniels with a burst of speed up ice. Daniels, the drop from Mullen. Hit from behind. Mullen tries to move it down to the corner, loses control, and the Beacon's clear.
You can see what the Beacon's trying to do shorthanded. Same with the first penalty kill attempt. And that's pressure along the blue line, extend this defense, and see if you can make St. Anselm make a mistake.
Richard pulls up, looking for a shot in tight, trying to feed it from behind. Richard still holding on the backhand. Now it's Gagonis, giving it right back to Richard, the playmaker. Holding, down along the goal line, it's Daniels. Back to Richard, past him at the dot. Gagonis comes in and drives one on. Loose at the top of the crease, it's cleared out. Back to the left point, held in by Brian Sullivan. 25 seconds left on the power play. Gagonis settles a bouncer. Back to Sullivan, quick pass to Daniels. Gagonis, a shot and a save by Andrews. Straight on the net, and Andrews smothers it. Offensive zone draw here with 18 seconds left on the power play.
I like the idea, and that's to try and force the action there from the outside. Gagonis has a laser-like slap shot. Unfortunately for the Hawks, he put it right into the glove that time of the goaltender, but nonetheless saw he had Tucker Mullen out in front. Hope for a deflection, hope for a rebound or a junk goal opportunity, and keep the action, most importantly, down at this end for the duration of the power play.
Beacons win the draw. Crawford sends it around the boards. Kelowna drops to his knees to keep it in. Kelowna and Rivas battling at the blue line, and I'm going to say it was offsides, or delayed offsides, so the Beacons take control, and that will run out the penalty time. Midway through the first period, still tied at 1. Hawks now 1 for 2 with the power play. Heislip, the drop pass for Mullen with a burst of speed. Mullen to the middle, wanted to leave it for Tabano, but it was too far behind him. Beacons in transition the other way. Travis Daniels shoved off the puck at the blue line. Here's DeGrazia holding, tried to shove one up into the air against Kang, but it was blocked away. I don't think DeGrazia had enough leverage on that puck.
Yeah, he ran out of space as well along the near pole.
Tabano gives it back to Este, over to Kelowna. Long cross ice feed under the skate of Heislip, and this will be icing. Heislip tried to get a tip on it and inadvertently missed the puck.
Well, one of the St. A's players we're seeing is Tyler Este, the freshman from Bow, New Hampshire. Played a year up in Tilton at the academy. Already, at my estimation, has made two game-changing plays so far. On that last one, he diverted DeGracia's path to the goal enough so that he had an improper angle there to the near side pole and ultimately did not get the shot off. So we saw the freshman make a hit earlier. He's made an impression on us in this first 10 minutes or so of the game.
That's the idea with head coach Edsini. You look at last year's freshman class and the impact they had. So many of them playing key roles, foremost among them McKillop, who is having a stellar sophomore campaign as well. But this year only a handful of freshman players as a shot goes wide of the net from DeAugustine. But they're all trying to make an impact. Sullivan, Ahern have done that so far, and now it's Este's turn.
Well, it's tough to fill the shoes of that group that came in a season ago. I think when it was all said and done, 4 of the top 5 scorers on the squad were all first-year players. So those are big shoes to fill for any recruiting class. But nonetheless, still a lot of hockey to go. And as the roles grow, as the season goes, I think in the end we'll be talking about a few of these freshmen making contributions.
McIntyre clears it out for the Beacons. This is going to be icing as Crovo gets back to touch it up. 8:16 to play in the first period. 1-1 the score, UMass Boston and Saint Anselm. Weston with the goal for the Beacons, his second of the year. Liam McKillop's 10th of the year for Saint Anselm. And this is another area, Nick, where King's presence will be missed in the faceoff circle. He was not only one of the Hawks' leading scorers, but also their leading faceoff man.
Yeah, he was their go-to guy, no question about it. And he's missed from a leadership perspective as well. He's been a mainstay in the Hawk lineup for the past several seasons and is a vocal guy. And most importantly, sets the example early on with his physical tone along the boards. He's going to be missed sorely until he gets back.
And hopefully we'll see him back at some point soon. Closing in on 100 points. He has 95 after last weekend. A shot by Vanison, saved by Andrews. 7:40 to play. Face-off inside the Beacon zone here.
Well, I like the edge St. Anselm has carved out for themselves in the neutral zone. It seems like they've gotten to the loose pucks, and they've kept the action, for the most part, down at the UMass Boston end. They've showed good anticipation on defense and, again, have controlled the area between the blue lines to their benefit.
Quick shot on. Andrews going to have to cover it up as Gagonis snuffed out the clear attempt by Richter and then just fired it on net to get the offensive zone face-off again.
Well, one way to fill the void along the boards left by Tim King and his physical play is to get some physical play from the backside of the defense, and Gagonis has filled that role nicely so far for the Hawks.
Finger shot, blocker save made by Kang. Loose puck to Merrill behind the net. Tries to trickle it through. Gagonis able to gather, couldn't fire the pass out to McKillop, and so it goes back to Merrill. Merrill turning in front of his own net. Dangerous area. Richard bats it out of the zone with the shaft of the stick. Daniels gets to it in open space. Johnny Daniels pinned to the boards by Harvey. Richard in there to help. Richard going 1-on-2. Back to the corner for Daniels. Holding on to it there. Out to the left point, it's Este. Sliding it across on the blue line. Kelowna able to keep it in. Nice stick work there on a tough pass. Richard again pinned to the boards in the corner. Both sides trying to dig it out. Sullivan has it. He'll continue the cycle against Weston. Richard moving around, trying to find a late drive to the net. Heislip couldn't free it up. Richard with a lift of the stick slides it on net and forces Andrews to cover again. But just a simple play by Richard as the Hawks trying to change out on the fly. He lifts the stick of the defenseman. Knows he doesn't probably have a great shot opportunity, but he just puts it on net, forces the goaltender to take a face-off, and that allows the Hawks to complete the change.
Yep, and we've seen the action stay at this end more times than not over the first 14 or 15 minutes of this game. UMass Boston having a hard time clearing the zone. Great blue line defense so far by the Hawks have helped them in this time of possession battle.
Yeah, the Beacons controlled the first couple shifts, got that goal a minute in, but since then the Hawks have done a good job of controlling things. Esty fires it in from center, Niedzalak turns it over to Heislip, almost had it in a juicy spot, fires one at a bad angle on net. Andrews controls the rebound, and the Beacons able to clear. Here comes Trevor Landgraf. Esty tries to run him off the puck, then he gets knocked down. Coming from behind, it was Crawford. Landgraf working behind the net, has it deflected away by Kelowna. Kuhn and Mullen battle on the boards. Kuhn out to the point. Crawford rotating back, fires one into the open corner. Esty pins Kit Sitterly to the boards. And now it's Heislip with a pass and a turnover to Sitterly. Attacked by Kelowna. Shot by DeAugustine, and Kang will control here. As a misplay by the Hawks in their own end almost leads to a goal-scoring opportunity for Sitterly.
Yeah, dangerous decision by the senior, John Heislip, on that clear attempt. Goes across his own goaltender and turns it over in a shooting lane. Fortunately, the Hawks able to recover on the backside to prevent what was a pretty good look there initially off the turnover.
McKillop wins the draw back to Crovo controlling. Greg Crovo coming up the middle. Drop pass turned over. 2-on-1 the other way. Here's McIntyre. A shot saved King. Rebound slid back across. No one there for UMass Boston, though. It went right between two players. Huge break there for the Hawks. McKillop back the other way. McKillop with a nice move. Gets knocked down. No call. Still a Beacon player sitting on him. I think the Hawks bench not happy about that one. Donovan after a loose puck as the Beacons look to move it back out. Pass comes behind McIntyre, forcing him to reset. DeAugustine touches it forward. Crovo moves it around the boards for Johnny Daniels rotating back. Daniels fires it across the ice. Nobody there. Harvey will whip it back in for the Beacons as they did have to clear the zone. That bought the Hawks a little bit of time. Daniels leaves it off for Mike Richard. Make that Sean Jenkins. Jenkins battling at center, trying to fight it in for Saint Anselm. Jenkins gets under the skates of Rivas. The puck goes back in the Hawk end. Crovo, quick drop pass for Daniels, fires it through two Beacons, and Vanis able to pick it up. Vanis takes it wide to the right side, a shot into the crease, knocked away by Andrews to the corner. Rivas controls the rebound. Daniels and Jenkins all over him now. Jenkins still fighting after the puck. Daniels on net. Vanis can't knock it down. Gagonis gathers, moves, fires it wide of the net. Daniels looking for someone to drive in the middle. Nobody there, though. Vanis kicks it away to Grazia. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Rivas touches it back out to center. That puck is hopping all over the place on this ice. Getting choppy near the end of the first period. 4 minutes to go. And a near turnover as Merrill tried to whip it out of his own end. Now it's Gagonis off of DeGrazia's stick. That allows Vanis to get it forward. Here's Sullivan working around a defender. Centering passes behind Vanis. Heislip coming in late, gets to it and moves it down the boards. Harvey and Sullivan battle. Heislip can't take it away. Now it's UMass Boston's puck. Travis Daniel out of his own end. Knocked away. Here's Richard pursuing it. And he and Niedzalak collide. To the middle for Sullivan. Steers it wide of the net. Rebound scooped up by Derek Colucci. Hit by Sullivan. Pucks goes past Colucci here. Now it's Niedzalak. Firing it up the middle off the back skate of Colucci. He'll carry over the blue line. Has it poked away by Esty. Niedzalak dumps it back in from center. Kang slows it out of his net, plays it past Kelowna, takes the open side on the far side of the ice. Houston backhands it back in. Beacons have to clear. Kelowna turns, has a little bit of time, fires it long distance up the ice to Tucker Mullen just over the blue line. Hawks have used that breakout pass effectively at various times over the course of the season.
That covered a lot of ice, and it was right on point. Unfortunately, the defense in the hip there of Mullen upon the reception.
Finger centering pass as someone had their stick chopped out of their hand. That was Merrill. Has the lumber back and will backhand it up the ice. Houston knocks it down to Colucci on the far side. Sends one toward Kang. He gloves it and holds for the faceoff.
Well, a good rally here by UMass Boston over the last 4 or 5 minutes. They have seemed like finally they were willing to compete here with the Hawks after being pushed around for the better part of this period. The UMass Boston Beacons able to reverse the momentum, take advantage of back-to-back Hawk mistakes in their own end to produce some wide open looks and really test Robert Kang over the last few minutes.
And Kang has been up to the task here after giving up that goal in the opening minute. He has since made every stop. Puck sent into the zone by Vanis. Jenkins fires one from a bad angle. Andrews holds the short side. Vanis battling forward in the corner now. Jenkins coming over to help out. Beacon's able to work it free to the other side of the ice. Weston fires it up to DeGrazia. His pass gloved down by Daniels at center. Daniels over the blue line, holding on the backhand. Daniels driving toward the net, steers it off of Andrews wide. Jenkins in the corner, back to Daniels. Working against Weston in the corner. Daniels trying to work away, off the wall, into the middle. Daniels gets run off the puck finally. It took two Beacons players to do it. And it'll be Harvey getting roughed into the boards. Daniel driving toward the net, held off by Kang, centering pass. Jenkins knocks it back out to the blue line, held in though, as the Beacons player gets sandwiched in. UMass Boston still controlling though in the offensive end. A shot and a save by Kang. Rebound batted up into the air and out of the zone. Icing coming here against St. A's. That'll stop the clock. No, they waved it off at the last minute. 1 minute to go in the first period. All even at one apiece. Both goals scored in the first 4 minutes. Since then, it's been up and down, scoring chances both ways, and some heavy work in the corner boards.
Yeah, and I would imagine the first period statistics pretty even so far.
Here's Heislip, a shot just over the crossbar in the glove hand of Andrews. A shot on by Sullivan. He didn't see it until the very last minute, but he was able to make the save.
Surprised everybody there.
Heislip, the back pass for Merrill. Flips it into the air, just over the glove of Sullivan. Beacons control now out at center. 3-on-2 up ice. McIntyre moving it over, centering pass, or a shot knocked down by Kang. Puck is behind the net. Battling forward is McIntyre. He'll move it out to the right point. Needslack chips one toward the net. Loose puck on the side. Kang finds it and gloves it for a face-off. McIntyre, a big body to handle right along the side of the net. Listed at 6'5", 205 pounds. A native of Norfolk, Massachusetts.
Well, as this group skates off the ice for St. A's, the two defensemen, Gogonis and Heislip, having an extended talk all the way back to the bench. It seems like there have been some mistakes by various defensive pairings here that have led to turnovers in the Hawk end. Communication will be big over the final two periods.
Icing call here against the Hawks as McKillop and Florentino were locked up. I think McKillop trying to make a case that Florentino was impeding his progress. Normally you'd pick McKillop in that race against Florentino.
Yeah, McKillop having something to complain about as well to the officials, so it seemed like neither player happy with the result.
Florentino tries to fire a shot. It's knocked down in the pile, and that'll bring us to the end of the first period as the final few seconds tick off the clock. Up and down it goes. UMass Boston with the goal 101 into the first period from Steve Weston out at the middle of the blue line. Sinai shot beat Robert Kang. And then St. Anselm was able to retaliate on the power play. A goal by Liam McKillop, assisted by Tabano and Zapka. And that is our score at the end of 1-1. St. Anselm and UMass Boston with a pivotal 2 points on the line in this ECAC East matchup. Nicky and I will be back with second period action coming up next. You're listening to Saint Anselm Men's College Hockey at StAnselmHawks.tv, powered by the PAC Network. Welcome back to Sullivan Arena, St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire. Ben Alter and Nick Anastos here with you at StAnselmHawks.tv, powered by the PAC Network. Just about ready to start the second period. St. Anselm locked in a 1-1 tie with UMass Boston. After one period, both goals scored early in that first period, 101 in. Peter McIntyre, they have changed the scoring on that. McIntyre had the tip on the assist from Weston. He took the initial shot, and McIntyre with a tipping goal gets his 10th of the year. Liam McKillop rallies back for St. A's, a power play goal at 3:37, assisted by Joe Tabano and Eric Zapka.
Yeah, it was McIntyre who not only got credit for the goal for UMass Boston, but also screened the vision of Hawks goaltender Robert Kang to put the Beacons initially on top 1-0. So McIntyre, who also came up with a steal in the Hawks end late in that first period, playing pretty well as a freshman in the first period for the visitors.
Using that big body of his to screen the goaltender, 6'5", 205 pounds. A load to handle out there. So we switch ends of the ice to start the second period. Hawks in white, Beacons in blue. Sullivan, Richard, Daniels with Gagonis and Merrill to start the period for the Hawks. For UMass Boston, DeGrazia, Rivas, Daniel, and Florentino and Houston on defense. Both goaltenders stay the same. Andrews for the Beacons, Kang for the Hawks. Richard with a quick shot knocked down by Florentino. He'll rush it up the ice for the Beacons. Feeds DeGrazia running left wing. Florentino, a drop pass knocked down by the skate of Merrill. Richard tripped as he tried to turn up ice. Still able to feed it off to Daniels, though. Daniels can't swim his way around Houston. And Houston's going to be able to clear it here. Flips it up the ice. Rivas gets to it. Poke checked away by Merrill. Loose puck as Daniel gets spun to his bottom. Ended up going for a little spin there. DeGrazia behind the net comes back out in front of the corner. Florentino at the right point. Tries to move it over to Houston. Too much on the pass, though. Houston, a hard angle pass off the boards. Turned it over. Richard flips it in the air. Houston gloves it down. Takes a hard poke check, then moves it to Florentino. Cross ice feed to McIntyre. Swept out from behind by Tabano. In the corner with it is Kit Sitterly. Taken off the play by Merrill. Steers it away from McIntyre and that's Daniels. Can't get it out of the zone, held in. Frankie DiAugustine has it knocked away. Daniels gets back into the play. DiAugustine holding along the blue line off the skate of a Saint Anselm player. Hawks still can't get it out. Now Daniels able to get it out of the zone. Backhands it to the blue line where Tucker Mullen finagles it past Steve Weston. Tabano throws a shoulder into the boards, fanning on the check against Weston. Beacons holding behind their own net. Much slower start to the third period as through this time in the first, Nick, we'd already had a goal and the Beacons appeared to be in control of things.
Yeah, both teams cautiously proceeding in the second period.
Steal by McKillop going to the net. A shot just up over the crossbar. Thinking shot all the way. He lifted it over the shoulder. Shot by Pascal and Mullen looking for the redirect. Just missed it with the shaft of the stick. And Andrews comes up with a save.
Well, Andrews has played well. Did give up the power play goal. Wasn't quick enough pole to pole to stop the McKillop shot on a pass across the zone, but by and large he has handled these blasts from the point and has not allowed any type of rebound opportunity in front of the crease. He's been nice with the glove and has been under fire rather consistently from the Hawk shooters.
Freshman from Coral Springs, Florida, originally though out of Walpole, Massachusetts. That's where he played his high school hockey as he stops another shot, this one from Kevin Vanos. Making his 14th appearance of the year coming in. He's been the starting goaltender. He was a dominating player in juniors. AJHL goaltender of the year in 2011 for the Walpole Express. AJHL All-Star that year as well. Eastern Junior Hockey League playoff MVP last year for the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs.
And that Walpole Express club won a national championship somewhere in that time frame.
Yeah, they've been AJHL title winners the last couple seasons, as that Express club has been a dominant fixture among the Atlantic Junior Hockey League clubs. Line's been getting in the way of some play there as it continues to find its way back to him. The Beacons send it in, no icing. Kelowna backhands it off the backboards for Tyler Estee, barely able to get it away there to Heislip. Back out to center, Ryan Donovan tried to touch it forward for Zabka. It's left in open space for Heislip, who fires it off the body of Tim Richter. Richter coming up ice, feeds it over, and a centering feed back toward Richter. He goes running into the post. Cross ice pass intercepted by John Houston. He's got to wait because Richter's still offsides. Heislip up ahead to Zabka. He'll get to center and dump it in for the Hawks. Donovan going deep after the puck, throws a shoulder, allowing Zabka to get to it. Some Hawks fans pounding on the boards down in the UMass Boston end. Puck worked free for Mark Grinhouse. He's got a burst of speed coming out of his own end. Grinhouse all the way through center. Takes it wide, drop pass from Mark Kuhn. Slid one through the creases. Grinhouse got upended into the corner. Stick and looked like almost a shoulder pad went flying as well.
Yeah, I think that was Merrill who got low and drove his right shoulder up into Grinhouse's chest to flip the skater over.
Cross ice pass connects with Johnny Daniels, steering back toward the middle. Has to put a puck in the air to get it free to Merrill. Flips it back out to center. Donovan can't move it forward. Back the other way with it is Rivas. Merrill hacking to the puck. Rivas in on net. A penalty coming as Kang makes a diving save. Merrill had to do what he could to keep Rivas from getting in on net, who split the defense. And now UMass Boston will have its first power play opportunity of the night.
Well, a great display of stick handling there by Rivas. Split the defender at the blue line, showed a burst of speed as he went around the defenders, and then able to switch the puck to the outside, draw the infraction on the shot, and ultimately put his team on the advantage for the first time tonight.
Beacon's power play has been one of the best in the country all year. 17 for 51. That's basically 1 out of every 3. So it's a 33% conversion rate for the Beacons. St. Anselm penalty kill has been pretty strong, though. 46 of 54, 85% on the PK. Here's a steal by Crovo. Fires it off of Heislip's skate. He was looking for a shorthanded bid. He's going to have to settle for a trip to the bench.
Well, we knew special teams really both ways, Ben, were going to play a key role tonight.
Beacons with numbers here. Centering pass, a shot, and a glove save made by Kang.
Wow.
Robbing McIntyre point blank.
Wow. That's a tough one to pull off there for Kang. The junior's body weight was moving towards the near side pole, and then he reaches back out in the opposite direction with that glove to snag the shot intended for the opposite high post. Pretty save there by Kang.
Hawks win the draw. Kelowna in the corner, can't work it free. Held in by UMass Boston. Kelowna knocks down the pass, moves it back to the blue line, and Richard bats it down the ice. 1:10 remaining on the Merrill penalty. Florentino, hard pass up the middle to Richter. He gets shouldered by Gagonis, and offsides called against UMass Boston. The whole Hawk bench made that call.
Yeah, I think half the arena as well. Seemed pretty obvious there in the open ice situation. Well, 5 minutes in, Hawks made their first mistake, go shorthanded for the first time tonight, as that one goes flying into the UMass Boston bench.
Send some of the coaches ducking for cover.
So this next minute 1 is going to be pivotal against a very successful UMass Boston power play on the season, as you mentioned, up around 33%. So a crucial juncture 5 minutes into this second period with the game tied at 1.
Rivas crosses over the blue line, immediately attacked by Richard. Richter gets to it behind the goal. Centering pass. DeGrazia shot deflected away. Tabano and Richard converging. Rivas at the point. Moves it to Travis Daniel. Fires it across. One-time shot. Whistles wide. DeGrazia moving back in front. His shot blocked and cleared by the Hawks. Puck played with a high stick by UMass Boston. The goaltender plays it, and that will bring a stoppage. Face-off all the way down inside the Beacon end here with 35 seconds remaining on the penalty.
Well, nice job by Mike Richard on the backside there after the first point-blank shot denied by Robert Kang. There was a rebound opportunity briefly for DeGrazia, but instead there's Richter able to get his stick on top of DeGrazia's, prevent the putback opportunity, and ultimately it's Richard who clears the zone as well.
Daniels tries to throw on net quickly off the draw. He's tied up by 2 Beacons in the corner, just trying to kill time here. He's grabbing onto Harvey's stick, able to get away with that one now. Puck deflected. Daniels fighting for it out at center. Daniels wins the battle and tries to get it free to Mullen. How about the effort by Daniels here on the PK?
Yeah, great two-way player, no question about it. A defensive forward who is not afraid to mix it up anywhere on the ice.
Crovo moves it to the corner, hit hard from behind, no call. Sitterly with it, centering pass knocked down by Crovo. Merrill's out of the box, and the Hawks successfully with a penalty kill here. Here's Mullen, one-on-one now with Harvey. Mullen, quick shot off the top of the post. Rebound knocked down by Mullen in the near corner. He's been quiet for most of the night, right up until that moment. Mullen tries to center one through for Sullivan. Mullen behind the net, out to the point. Crovo walking in, shot just wide. He was trying to aim it for the corner. Pascal pinches down to try to keep it in. Loose puck out at center. Sullivan eases it off and turns it over in the process. Here's DeAugustine, 2-on-1, driving to the net. Shot, save made. Almost kicked in by a St. Anselm player, but the Hawks are going to be able to rescue it out here. Someone coming in to help out Kang, almost kicked it into his own net.
Well, another tremendous save by the goaltender, Robert Kang, showing his flexibility there and stopping the open ice attempt by the Beacons.
Andrew Kaz drops it back to Merrill. Gagonis near side. Flips it up towards center. Vanus touches it into the body of Andrew Crawford. Bouncing puck finally settled by Landgraf. Plays it back to Crawford. across the ice. Feeds it to Grinhouse. Kaz slows it up at center. Vanis attacks. And now Kaz gets to it. He'll cross the blue line. Kaz tries to fire one on net. Niedzalak deflects it to the near corner. Settled down there by Sean Jenkins. Niedzalak sticks it away, back to the corner once again. Jenkins digs it out to Gagonis at the point, across to Merrill. Wrist shot right into the body of Landgraf, who clears it out of the zone. That draws some cheers from the UMass Boston bench. Turnover at center. Couple Beacons almost run into each other. Niedzalak takes control and fires it in. Daniel attacks the puck. Gagonis gets it through him. Jenkins off the boards into the offensive zone. Hawks trying to change out here. Grinhouse the long pass. Daniel gets the touch, so no icing. Into the corner, Rivas, centering pass, nobody home. Kaz, Merrill turns it over in front. Shot by DeGrazia and a save made by Kang. Another shot blocked by Merrill. Donovan scoops up the loose change. Ryan Donovan out through center over the blue line. Fires one on net, deflected away by Andrews. Zabka battling for it in the corner. Donovan takes control, gets leveled. Kelowna steps in, stays on sides. His shot whistles way wide. Esty backs off as the Beacons clear. Tipped in by Daniel. Esty behind his own net, looking for a way out. Off the backboards for Zabka. Trying to clear some space away from Rivas, who forces the turnover. Rivas in the corner now, shouldered into by Esty. High slip, trying to stick it away from DeGrazia. That's a tough battle. DeGrazia now in the corner. Kelowna throws his body into him. 11:20 left in the second period. Still tied at 1. Hawks have killed off a penalty in this period. That's been the best chance for either side. Strong offensive shift here by the Beacons. Florentino with a lot of room, a drive. Stick save made by Kang. Another big stop by Kang, and we're going to get a penalty here.
This might be a hook along the near post.
I think this is going to be matching. Daniel is going to go for UMass Boston. High slip for Saint Anselm.
Yep.
A lot of wrestling away from the puck.
Yeah, it looked like they were tangled up along the near post when the action was taking place along the far side wing, but that's why we have a 3-man officiating crew, so that all the angles are covered. And that's on both teams guilty of the infraction.
4-on-4 hockey for the first time tonight. Hawks able to win the draw, but the Beacons control. McIntyre in the far corner. McIntyre leaves Pascal in his wake. Loose puck out to Weston. A shot and a shoulder save made by Kang. Puck chipped up and out of the zone by Saint Anselm. And it's going to have just enough gas to go for the icing call.
Well, Kang stopped 12 shots in that first period, and he's well on his way to matching that total midway through this second. He has been constantly under fire, but he's been Johnny on the spot for the Hawks, whether it's been with the glove, the stick, or the shoulder that we saw a moment ago. Kang has kept his team in the game here in this second period, no question about it.
He has shown an ability to get into a zone and a rhythm and really just become an unstoppable force in net.
And he has been the goaltender in the conference the last couple of seasons, and his reign is evident.
McIntyre attacks Pascal. Kang scoops up the loose puck and covers it. As McIntyre wanted to use his body and go right at Pascal, he just shoves the big man down.
Yeah, having a little conversation there with the referee, wanted a whistle. Just good hard defense there, I think, by Mike Richard. Put his shoulder into him and pushed him down in an attempt to get to the puck. Nothing wrong with that.
And you know what they say, the bigger they are,
the harder they fall.
Beacons control off the draw. Cross ice feed, a tip from the weak side, just off the net. Kang taps his goal net afterwards. Perhaps a little bit of a thank you.
I wonder if that adage ever applied to our own Ben Alcher.
I hope not.
You're a pretty large guy.
I've fallen a couple times. It's hurt. I try to avoid it whenever possible now. Tabano just over the blue line, has it swept away. Tabano still on it now on the backboards, working on his backhand. Out to the right point, Gagonis. Moving it across, settled by Merrill. Holding on to it there. Back to Gagonis, loading up a drive and a save by Andrews. Rebound was on Mullen's stick, but he couldn't lift it over the goaltender. Florentino with it now, still 35 seconds of 4-on-4 left. We're more than midway through the second period, still even at 1. Big collision in the corner. Jenkins plays it back to Merrill. Kuhn goes to attack. Merrill gets upended from behind. This is going to be a tripping call against Kuhn. Got his stick right into Merrill's midsection, and that's an easy call for the trail official there.
Yeah, no question about it.
Beacons are going to touch up here, and Kuhn is going to head to the box for the trip.
A little bit of an argument there from Kuhn. I think that's just more out of frustration. He knew he was guilty.
I don't know whether he's saying Merrill dived over the stick, but that seemed clear as day to us up here, where stick right into the body, and Merrill went down.
Yeah, no question about it. Yanked him down from behind as well. It's a no-no, especially in open ice with all the eyes on you.
So this will be the third power play opportunity for Saint Anselm because the matching minors are still on the board. This will start as a 4-on-3 power play, and then we'll move to a 5-on-4 in about 11 seconds. Zapka, Richard, Daniels, and Merrill. 3 forwards, 1 defense to start here for the Hawks, as Weston able to fight it out of the zone. Hawks will run out the time in the matching minors. Daniel leaves it for Richard, and it's 5-on-4 for the Hawk power play now. Play turned over to Daniel. They got 2-on-1 the other way. Here's Grinhouse going in, a shot and a save made by Kang. He'll hold for the faceoff. 1 man back, it was Merrill. He wiped out the pass, left only the shot, and Kang more than capable of handling Grinhouse there.
Well, the Beacons, though, showing their speed. They just got it and went from the Hawks blue line. A 2-on-1 ensues. And whether it's been Grinhouse or Rivas, we've seen this team fly around the ice. They've got some skaters and some speed, and really since about, the 5-6 minute mark in the first period, up until that point, the Hawks had really controlled the momentum. I think things have changed now. It's really been the Beacons since that point in the game that have dictated the pace and the tempo of this hockey game, and they've really tried to pose their will against St. A's by and large since that moment in the first period.
Daniels healed a one-timer there, pass from Merrill. Merrill turns off the wall, gives it to Zapka, wrist shot right off the body of, Landgraf out high. One of the Beacons players loses a stick. That's Landgraf, had it flung all the way back to his own blue line. Puck still being tied up along the boards. Landgraf trying to cover it underneath the skates. Merrill's trying to just shove him off of it. Finally squirted away to Daniels. He has it poked free. And now Richard comes steaming through with it. Mike Richard pulls up, wrist shot, and a save made by Andrews. Richard takes a hit from Houston after the shot.
Well, things steadily becoming more chippy in this second period. Both teams came out playing hard in that first period, but by and large the elbows were kept to themselves, and here in the second, more pushing, more shoving, more grinding along the boards. These players starting to get it up in each other's face, and I think the stakes have risen here over the final 8 minutes in the second period.
Pascal not able to keep it in the zone. Pass fanned on by Gagonis. He tucks it back to Tabano at center. Gagonis now to Jenkins as he crosses over the blue line. Flicked back out by Jeremy Finger. 20 seconds left on the Hawk power play. Pascal, a drive, whistles wide. Gagonis settles it. Backhands it down the boards, but turns it over. And the Beacons clear. Time for one last rush if the Hawks hurry, but otherwise this is going to turn into another 5-on-5 situation. A big shot by Finger leveled at Gagonis. Neither of them had the puck, but no call coming. And so Kuhn jumps out of the box and forces an immediate turnover. Leaves it off there. Rivas' shot blocked down by Gagonis. Turnaround shot by Kuhn, and a save made by Kang once again.
Well, we've seen the turnovers rear their ugly head more often, Ben, in this second period, especially in their own zone. It seems like the blue line, clearing the blue line, has been a problem. And there's been plenty of inconsistencies from this Hawks unit trying to clear their own zone. And, they're talking to each other, trying to figure out what the best approach is to try and deal with this pressure. But credit UMass Boston, again, they have been pesky in the attack zone.
And this is a situation, again, no Tim King, no John Ahern, 2 mainstays in the lineup for most of the season. And that's going to cause some line juggling. New players into the lineup and players playing with line mates who they may not be accustomed to. Hard shot by Heislip on DeGrazia behind the net. Puck still being battled for Rivas. A centering pass knocked down by Kelowna. He'll flip it up towards center. Under the stick of Crawford. Sullivan bearing down on him. Heislip can't knock down the pass. Back out to center, DeGrazia over the blue line. Offsides on Rivas. Face-off will come just outside the St. Anselm end. 6:32 to go in the second period, 1-1 the score. Those early goals from the first period still holding up. UMass Boston has had more chances here in the second period, but so far the junior goaltender Robert Kang has been stellar in net for the Hawks.
Yeah, he has been terrific. Let up the first one, but has been perfect ever since. And he's not had much help at times from his defense. He's put it all on his shoulders, and he's been more than up for the task thus far.
And at times it almost seems like the defense has been helping the opposition. He had one almost kicked in by his own defender.
Right, either that or a turnover that has led to various 2-on-1 situations.
Richard fires one down the boards for McKillop. Quiet since that early goal. Sullivan behind the net leaves it off. Richard holding on the backhand, tries to steer it in front. Knocked away though by Houston. And it'll be cleared out by McIntyre. Now Sitterly over the blue line. Tries to drop one through for DeAugustine. Bouncing puck knocked down by Sitterly. A shot on net. Kick save made by Kang. Richard diving, bats it out of the zone. Florentino fires it right back in. Rides the dashboard to the near side. Pascal straight up the boards. Touched on by McKillop, so no icing. Andrews leaves it off for Cam Harvey. Playing behind his net. Mullen causing some problems. Forces the turnover. Tabano tried to feed Daniels. It was knocked down and will be skated out. This is Colucci. Has it knocked away by Merrill. Out to center. Mullen onto the loose puck. Backhands it forward. Trying to lead Daniels into the zone. He and Harvey collide. Harvey goes down. Able to guide the puck to the near corner though, and the Beacons will be able to move it up and out as Richter fires it across. And there is going to be an icing call here. Thought the official was pointing to a touch from one of the Beacons coming through center, but no such touch. And so the face-off will move back down into the UMass Boston end with 5:07 to play in the period.
This crowd's been kind of quiet, Ben. A good-sized crowd on a Friday night. You mentioned earlier the fact that the students are back, but with the exception of that McKillop first period power play goal, not a whole lot to cheer about for the home team.
Weston in his own end gives it back to Harvey. Jenkins is hunting the puck. He collides with Harvey behind the net. They got a penalty coming here against St. Anselm. It's going to be a hold against Jenkins. Little too aggressive working against Harvey behind the net, and the Hawks are going to go back down on the penalty kill. Second power play opportunity for UMass Boston, 0 for 1 so far.
Well, that can't sit well with Ed Cini, the 11-year man on the St. A's bench. That's just an avoidable mistake there by the sophomore Jenkins. Clearly grabbed the UMass Boston player's left arm right in front of the official at an inopportune time with his team on the attack. Instead, after just killing off a penalty a moment ago, the penalty kill unit has to come right back on the ice for Coach Cini.
Shot squeezed through to Kang there. He was able to cover it up. Head coach Cini approaching a milestone here at St. Anselm. His next victory will be his 150th with the Hawks.
Well, it's been a week of milestones as the men's basketball coach Keith Dixon earned his 500th career victory in Stoutenburg Gymnasium on Tuesday.
Yeah, we were there to call that one. It was a terrific night for all involved and a terrific performance by the Hawks, perhaps their finest of the year, blowing out Pace 101-54.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest blowouts I've seen in a long, long time, a 47-point win.
Florentino with it for UMass Boston at the left point. Crisscrosses with Rivas. One-timer from Rivas flutters wide. Didn't get all of it. Richter scoops up the rebound now. 1:10 to go on the Beacon power play. Miss pass. Crovo gets the loose puck and backhands it into the air down the ice. Rivas with it in his own end. Cross-ice feed is behind McIntyre, forcing him to reset to Florentino. And a turnover at the blue line. Tabano takes it across, tries to feed it to the middle. He was looking for Daniels to drive to the net, but he didn't get all the way to it. Daniels still holding in the offensive end here. Valuable seconds running off the clock on the power play for the Beacons. Rivas will bring it up ice. He gets to center. Tries to guide it through Merrill's skates, but Merrill knocked it free. Finger brings it back across the blue line. Gagonis pins him into the boards, trying to work the puck free. Finger able to get it down to the corner and behind Kang. Backhanded for McIntyre out to the right point. DeAugustine to drive, kicked away by Merrill, skating through the slot. Finger, a little give and go with Sitterly. A lot of the freshmen out there on the power play now for UMass Boston. Here is DeAugustine back across to Harvey. A shot off the body of Merrill, and it deflects to the sideboards. McIntyre overskates it. Sitterly comes over to help him out. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and Jenkins is out of the box, back to even strength. Vulnerable minute here for the Hawks as Kang makes a save, stopping Harvey point blank. 2:47 to go in the second period. Not much going on that power play for UMass Boston.
Yeah, nice job by the Hawks. They play it conservative. They pack the zone. They shut down the shooting lane, shut down the passing lanes, and forced some give and goes to no avail along the outside there by UMass Boston. So job well done there on what was an avoidable situation to begin with for the Hawks, but no harm, no foul with under 3 minutes to go in this second period.
Puck sent around the boards to the near side. Mullins settles, rips the pass off of Landgraf's body. So UMass Boston tries to re-enter. Esty sends it back out to center. Puck back across to Landgraf. There's a UMass Boston player doing a split at the blue line. That's Grinhouse trying to keep himself onside. Centering pass intended for Landgraf, knocked down. He's got it behind the net now. Landgraf can't skate his way through Kelowna. Now it's McKillop lifting it over the blue line out to center. Florentino gathers, fires it off the boards. Kelowna steps forward and fires it back into the offensive zone. Houston holding. Florentino far side. Rips one off the body of Landgraf and into the zone. UMass Boston changing out now. 2 minutes to go in the period. Still tied at 1. McKillop. Sullivan tips it forward but turns it over to Weston. Now it's Houston. Backhanding for Weston. Beacon's trying to find some room through center here. Houston will skate it up to the red line. Be able to feed it through to Rivas. Centering pass just out of the reach of Daniel. DeGrazia to it in the near corner. Daniel kicks to the stick. Gets hit by Esty from behind. DeGrazia works it free. Driving on net. Centering pass. It's loose on the side. Gathered by Kelowna. Not fired out of the zone. Weston in the middle. He scores. Again, a shot into the pile by Steve Weston. Sneaks past Robert Kang. And it's 2-1, UMass Boston late in the second period.
Well, they were knocking on the door, and finally they kick it down. That one goes 5-hole, a kick save attempt with the right leg, a split second. Too late that time by Kang, who has been so resilient between the pipes so far for St. A's. But if you face a certain amount of shots, eventually one is going to slip through, and that's the case there after what I thought was a pretty dominating period for UMass Boston there. They controlled the tempo, they forced the action, they clearly won the shots on goal battle, and now they win the battle up on the scoreboard for the period as well, reclaiming the lead here 2-1.
Here's the Beacons coming right back. A shot and a kick save made by Kang. Bouncing puck gets by DeAugustine. Daniels to Richard with a little bit of room. Mike Richard over the blue line. A shot deflected away off the stick of Weston. Daniels trying to get to it and keep it in the zone. He cannot. Gagonis at center. Fires it in with a minute to go. 2-1 now, UMass Boston. Daniels fires one toward net. Jenkins knocks it down. Harvey to the sideboards. Tipped up. Merrill holds it in with a glove. Batted off the high stick of a UMass Boston player. Nudged forward, a drive, and a save made by Andrews. Richard from almost no angle whatsoever. Just trying to see if he could surprise Andrews, but he's able to cover up a rebound, and it's still 2-1. 44 seconds remaining in the period.
Still haven't seen really been a golden opportunity for the Hawks either. A lot of these shots have been from at least beyond either red face-off circle, if not out near the point. Haven't seen anything from up close. Haven't seen really a pass that has snuck through to set something up on the doorstep. Very disciplined game defensively so far for the Beacons has limited the Hawks scoring chances.
Kuhn's drive goes wide. Centering pass backhander by Landgraf misses wide. Hawks trying to work it out of the zone. Here is Joe Tabano dropping it for Tucker Mullen with a burst of speed. He gets nearly clotheslined by Houston over the blue line, and there's going to be a penalty. That's going to be on UMass Boston. Elbowing call against John Houston. Aimed high on Tucker Mullen, and even though he didn't make much contact, he's still going to pay the price.
Well, kudos to the officials. This three-man group done a pretty good job so far. That's Cameron Lynch, Keith Cogan, and Kyle McQuaid trying to tighten things up from an officiating standpoint here in the second period. We mentioned these two teams getting after one another more so after the first intermission than we saw in that first period. And a nice response here by the refs to keep things in check before they can spiral out of control heading into the final period.
Trying to keep the puck hemmed in. 7 seconds left in the period. Gagonis fires one into the middle, deflected just wide. And that's going to run out time on the second period as UMass Boston will take a lead into the third. Saint Anselm, though, will start the period on the power play. And they will try to take advantage. The score at the end of 2, UMass Boston 2, Saint Anselm 1, as the Hawks try to pick up a vital 2 points in ECAC East action. Nick and I will be back. Third period action comes your way next. This is Saint Anselm Men's College Hockey at StAnselmHawks.tv, powered by the Pack Network. Back here at Sullivan Arena, Saint Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire. My name is Ben Alter alongside Nick Anastos. Ready for the start of the third period. Hawks trailing the Beacons of UMass Boston 2-1. And Saint Anselm, though, will start the third period on the power play. It'll be their 4th power play chance of the night. They converted on their first, rallying back from an early 1-0 deficit to tie the game at 1. That was less than 4 minutes into the first period. From that point on, Nick, we had a stalemate. Both sides had some chances. St. A's controlled most of the first period after tying things up at a goal apiece, but UMass Boston rallied back. They had some good scoring chances in that second period and finally broke through in the final 2 minutes on Steve Weston's second goal of the season, and he now has a multi-point night with a goal and an assist.
Well, after a clean first period, the Hawks hindered themselves by committing 3 penalties in that second period and really playing on their heels as a result. Only 7 shots in the second period for the Hawks after managing 13 in the opener. And UMass Boston ratcheting up the heat. 13 in the first, make it 12 in the first period, 13 more shots on goal in the second. They controlled the neutral zone and they controlled the tempo, and as a result, the Hawks playing most of that second period in their own end and now trail to begin the third 2-1.
Well, St. Anselm trying to battle back here, trying to use the power play to their advantage, but an early rush snuffed out by a big UMass Boston hit. Hawks beat the Beacons earlier this year, down in Boston 5-4, as Tim King had the game-winning goal 31 seconds in overtime. He is not out there for the Hawks tonight, alongside John Ahern. 2 key components missing for the St. Anselm lineup. 1:05 left on the power play. A drive by Merrill. Pad save made by Andrews as he sent scrambling, but the Beacons send the puck out of the zone. Kang leaves it off for Merrill. Going behind his own net. Merrill hit by Derek Colucci. Tabano comes back to help out Merrill. Takes a hard turn behind his own net. Takes a couple whacks from Colucci, and Tabano will skate it over the blue line. Tabano going to the middle. Gets hauled down. No call.
Wow.
Looked like he was hooked down for sure. Merrill holding. Gives it across to Johnny Daniels. Off the boards, Brian Sullivan. Trickles it to Merrill. Feeding Sullivan going toward the net. His backhander knocked down. Drive by Daniels. Flutters wide. Mullins scoops up the rebound in the corner out to the point. Merrill had left for the bench. Crovo comes out. 15 seconds left on the power play, and Crovo starts the rush here. Crovo all the way into the corner. Tries to backhand it to the middle. Richard at the dot sends one toward the net. It's knocked down. Richard back in front, and it's knocked away by a Beacon skate. Crovo holding it in. Power play just expired as a centering pass as Daniels had his stick lifted in the air by Andrew Crawford. Beacons clear it down, but it's going to be icing as they sent it down after the power play had expired. So the faceoff will move back inside the defensive zone for the Beacons, and the Hawks will be able to get fresh legs out here with a tired Beacon group coming back out onto the ice.
Well, a good shift there. They kept the heat on, no question. Johnny Daniels particularly all over, trying to find some kind of an opportunity out in front of the cage, but credit the goaltender Zach Andrews, who's quietly put together a nice game here. He's got his team out in front 2-1, and he's fended off St. A's the last few power play tries.
Puck chipped wide of the net by Vanna. Centering pass by Heislip. Jenkins skates it to the backboards. Heislip turning around in the corner. Out to the left point, Tyler Estee. Moves it to Alex Pascal. Angles one off the boards. Tries to feed it through to Jenkins. Hit hard by Crawford. Heislip once again coming out the near side. Angle pass. Estee tips it just to keep it in the zone. Heislip out near the blue line. Estee working with him. As Estee can't keep it in there. Beacon's able to chip it out. Icing waved off. Beacon sprint to the bench to get a much-needed change. Esty across to Pascal, sends it forward, and this will, no. It's going to get deep of the goal line, but icing waved off in the last minute. Mullen cycles it down the boards. Weston keeps the puck moving. Johnny Daniels holding in the corner there. Beacon's trying to move the puck out. Daniels keeps it in the corner, though. Puck stuck between the skates of Mike Richard. Worked free there by UMass Boston. Here's Mullen at the dot, turns it over to Tim Niedzalak. Beacon's able to clear it out. Mike DeGrazia from center, trying to lead Max Rivas into the zone. Merrill takes control, though, for St. A's. Feeds Daniels. Pass too far in front from Mullen coming out of his own end. Beacons come back in. Kang slows it up as Daniel was putting pressure on for UMass Boston. Puck slid forward out to center. Rob Florentino flicks it back forward. Andrew Kaz turning in his own end. Merrill, the quarterback, up to center. Sullivan lost it. Now kicks it back forward. As again, the Beacons providing a lot of traffic through the neutral zone here. Merrill will skate it up to the red line himself. Feeds Daniels to the middle. Tabano tries to make a move, but Houston got low. Crovo dives to keep it on sides. Great effort there by the captain, Crovo, or one of the captains. Tabano gets tackled by Houston behind the net. Loose puck worked free by Kit Sitterly. Now it's Frankie DiAugustine backhanding it forward. McIntyre pulls up in the faceoff circle and then has it poked away by Sullivan. Cam Harvey in his own end now, or make that Niedzalak for UMass Boston. Finned on the initial pass, but he had plenty of time to get it to DiAugustine. Trickled forward by McIntyre. DiAugustine skates onto it. Poked away in the corner. DiAugustine now behind the net, tied up by a couple Hawks. Crovo, Richard, McKillop trying to dig it out of there. McKillop finally does. Sends it across to Alex Pascal, who skates it forward. Pascal, the defenseman, jumping up. Across the blue line, drop pass for Mullen on the backhand. Through the crease, nobody home. Mullen hoping for a kind bounce there. Cycles back down the boards for Richard, trying to leave it off for Daniels. Loose puck to the near side, Mullen, out to the point. Esty holds. Esty fires one off a Beacon body into the corner. Richter sends it forward for Colucci out at center. He ducks around the big hit of Esty. And now Colucci trying to get established in the offensive end. Knocked down to the ice a couple times. Mullen coming back the other way, skating across the blue line, fires it into the near corner. Jenkins in after it. Weston will beat him to it. Puck flipped back out to center. Esty controls, turning hard at his own blue line now. Backhands for Gagonis. Off the boards, too hard for Vanis. Weston gets to the red line, fires toward the net. Kang has to kick it away. Quick moving third period so far. 5.5 minutes already off the clock, and it's still 2-1 UMass Boston. Vanis trying to find a trailer. It's loose at the top of the crease, knocked down a couple times. Finally, Harvey will skate up to it. Tipped forward by Finger into the Saint Anselm bench, and we'll get a face-off at center ice here with 14:10 to play in the third period.
That puts an end to a long, unbroken sequence there. Nearly 4 minutes of continuous hockey. Both teams exchanging possessions there.
I know, I'm almost out of breath.
Well, you just killed it. A 4-minute verse there from Alcher.
Sometimes you got to bring your A game. Every night. Pass to the middle, quick shot just over the glove of Kang. That was from Mike Kuhn. Beacons in the offensive end once again. Kuhn on the sideboards, feeding to the middle as Grinhouse tried to slide it across, but he was caught in a somewhat awkward position. And bat it back the other way as Kaz got snuffed out on the rush. Here's Crovo leaving it off the boards. Tipped forward there by Sullivan. His pass intercepted, turned over. Here's Grinhouse. The drop pass is behind Landgraf. Cycles it down the boards, but gives it away to Crovo, who gives it right back. Centering pass, knocked down by Rivas, and Sullivan takes it away. He'll lead McKillop out of the zone. Liam McKillop gets to the red line, fires on net. Blocker saved to the corner by Andrews. Sullivan takes control on a loose puck, feeds to Bono. Trying to hold in the corner off the check of Florentino. Absorbs another hard shot. Gives to Daniels, centering in front. Gagonis back of the blue line. Gives to Merrill, has a little time. Tried to feed it to Daniels. Centering pass through the crease. Sullivan couldn't get his stick to the ice. Daniels slams Kuhn to the boards. This is going to be a penalty as Kuhn goes down face first on the ice. This is going to be a hit from behind on Johnny Daniels.
Pretty big blow there by Kuhn. Looked like, not sure, but from up here, it seemed like he smashed that left cheek into the into the rail over there, the part between the glass and the board, and was dramatically down there for a few moments and had a choice gesture for the home crowd on his way back to his feet.
Kuhn able to get back up, which is the good news for UMass Boston. The better news is that they will have a power play here, 2 minutes, and a chance to go up 2 goals, which at this stage of the game is a huge margin. Rivas out at the left point, moving to the middle of the blue line, gives to Travis Daniel, top of the faceoff circle. Back to Rivas, just under the stick of Heislip, knocks the second pass down. Heislip gathers, trickles it out to Jenkins. Jenkins over the blue line, tries to fire one on net. It's knocked away, though, by Florentino. Jenkins will try to burn some time here, but has it knocked away. Heislip, a turnover and a shot. Andrews had to make a panic save there as Jenkins skated right across his vision. DeGrazia will bring it up ice for UMass Boston. He's been quiet tonight, but he is the danger man. Centering pass touched on net by Daniel and a save made by Kang. Loose puck in the corner. Pascal digs it out. Rivas holds it in on the left side. Batted forward and back out by Richard. Rivas with a quick turn at center. Tabano attacks and nudges him. Rivas backhands it to Florentino. Back in the hands of Rivas. Off the boards in front of the bench. And now it's Harvey. Kit Sitterly. Cross ice pass. Bouncing toward the net. Kang has to keep an eye on it as it goes behind. Richter. A backhander for Harvey. Moving it across to DeAugustine. A shot into the corner. Looking for the redirect from Richter. He missed him. DeAugustine in the middle of the blue line. Shot into the pile. Deflected away by Richard. Pascal fires it the length of the ice. 30 seconds to go on the power play for UMass Boston. Less than 11:30 to go in the game. Hawks trailing by a goal. Needing to kill off this penalty here. DeAugustine over the blue line. To the bottom of the faceoff circle. Centering pass deflected wide. McKillop has control. Gets hauled down from behind, but is still able to bat it to the blue line. And then Mullen will send it the rest of the way. That'll run out the time on Daniel's penalty. He's out of the box. Less than 11 minutes to go as McKillop comes in, tries to sweep it free. Mullen finds McKillop along the goal line. He gets taken out into the net. Mullen was looking to go right across the goal mouth and make a quick move to the backhand to beat Andrews on the far side. And then got plowed into by Sitterly.
Well, that was, in my opinion, borderline cross-checking there. It looked like McKillop had the step on his way to the near post and then was pushed from behind into the net. He absorbed a pretty harsh blow there upon contact, but hockey players are tough, and he's okay.
Now they're going to call it a clean hit as the goal readjusted for Andrews. It'll be an offensive zone draw here for Saint Anselm with 10:50 to go in the third period.
Well, time starting to become a factor here. Hawks cannot make a mistake and pick up another penalty, however. They played shorthanded seemingly more often than not since the first period.
McIntyre eases it into the offensive zone for UMass Boston. Merrill around for Daniels. Fires it across the ice to Evan Gagonis. Chips it forward. Knocked ahead by Zabka. Knocked right back out by UMass Boston. Gagonis crosses over center and then nearly gets leveled by Crawford, but saw what was coming and ducked under the hit. Pass stolen away by Niedzalak. Merrill chips it back up at center. Zabka turns and gives it back to Gagonis. Now it's Merrill in his own end. Merrill will bring it forward. Looking for an outlet. It's Daniels who's just over the blue line. Puck knocked right back the other way. Settled by Jenkins. Brought over by Zabka. Shot on and Andrews covers. Another face-off inside the offensive end. That's what the Hawks, Nick, were doing successfully in the first period, I thought. Even if they weren't able to get a clean look away on Andrews, they were forcing him to take a lot of defensive zone draws.
Yeah, we saw a lot of shots come from the point. Credit Andrews for not allowing any rebound opportunities. Covered up pretty well. But by and large, the Hawks played much better blue line defense in that first period than they have been able to manage since.
Houston gets leveled by Sullivan. Puck able to be worked out of the zone, though, by UMass Boston as Kaz locked in a wrestling match with DeGrazia. And DeGrazia goes down. Krovo with it now, up ahead to Sullivan. Kicks it forward, and McKillop brings it over the blue line. Centering feed. Tabano tried to give it to Sullivan going toward the net, but it was blocked away by Houston. Great read by Tabano, but the passing lane just wasn't there. Houston moves it around. This will get through to Daniel. Turnover in the middle. McKillop trying to guide it through. Krovo loads up, feeds McKillop alongside. McKillop has it roll off his stick, and it goes right to DeGrazia. He waited for Andrews to commit, which he did, but then the puck rolled right away from him. Here's Rivas, a shot up over the crossbar.
Well, excellent opportunity a moment ago there by the Hawks. Nice decision by Krovo. Good execution on the pass.
Sullivan's shot knocked away there by Andrews.
Just couldn't finish it. McKillop, I'm sure, had visions of putting it in the back of the net, but took his eye off the puck long enough for it to roll off his stick.
Pascal gives it back to Tyler Estee. His pass too far in front for Mike Richard. Beacons control. Weston at his own blue line. Gets bumped and thrown to the ice by Johnny Daniels. Here comes Mullen. He gets tripped. And a hand pass was going to be called against the Hawks. They're going to wave it off. Niedzalak flips it into the air. DeAugustine after the bouncer settles it and loses track of it as Estee comes in to knock it free. Richard has it, whips it across, too far intended for Mullen. Crawford back the other way. Pascal with a head of steam comes up ice. Over the blue line, he leaves it. Mullen a drive and a glove save by Andrews. Rebound to the corner. Crawford to McIntyre. Kicks to the stick. McIntyre guides it across. DeAugustine backs his way over the blue line. That's offsides. That's a gimme for the linesman. Whenever a player skates backward over the blue line, dragging the puck with him, it's an easy call.
Yep. Even a novice could have called that one.
And I did.
Well, I would hope you've advanced beyond novice status at this point.
I've seen my fair share of games.
That's right.
8 minutes to go in the third period. Hawks trailing by a goal. It was 1-1. Less than 4 minutes into the first period. UMass Boston broke the tie late in the second. A goal and an assist for Steve Weston tonight as the Beacons continue to pressure here. As the Hawks having some trouble clearing the puck out of their own ends. Kang eases one off, but pressure being applied by Colucci. Now it's Richter firing one toward the pile, and it goes into the near corner. Houston sends one wide of the net and all the way around the boards. Zapka and Richter battle. Richter wins and keeps it in the zone. Colucci in the near corner. Right point, Houston slaps it down to the backboards. Heislip tries to control. Back up along the hashes. Jenkins can't work it out past Houston. Now Heislip controls again and will work it free. Sends it in from center, no icing. Hawks get wholesale changes here. Kaz out on defense now along with Krovo. Pass sent all the way up the ice and kicked into the zone by Landgraf. Into the corner goes Landgraf. Run into by Kaz. Battle for the puck there. Krovo comes in to help. Colucci's there too, though, for UMass Boston. Sullivan can't work it free. Now Kaz gets back to it. Skating behind his own net. McKillop, the available man. Straight up the boards, leading Sullivan into the zone. No icing as Sullivan cancels it out. Harvey gets underneath him and wins the puck battle, though. Sullivan still fighting for it, slashing at Harvey. Krovo dribbles it back out to center. Racing forward is Grinhouse. Poke checked by Kaz, and the loose puck comes to Tabano. 6:20 to go, still a one-goal game, and the Hawks have not been able to generate too much pressure here. McKillop had the best opportunity and had a puck roll off his stick. Sends one off the side of the cage. Weston controls behind the net. Kuhn ahead for Grinhouse. Holds, delays, now gives to Pascal. Fires it across the ice. McKillop with a little bit of room. Fires a wrist shot, high and wide. Rebound out to the point. Pascal sends it toward the net. Kicked down by Kuhn. Sends it up the ice. It deflects off of Estee, so no icing. Daniels turns it over at the blue line. DeGrazia drive and a glove save made by Kang.
Well, the Hawks getting real maverick with these passes. Seemingly they get longer as the game goes on, and that's just an invitation for trouble, especially this puck-hawking team that we've seen from UMass Lowell. They played the passing lanes well all night. They've controlled the blue line and are trying to force here the Hawks into another mistake, perhaps another big turnover over the final 5:30 to seal it up.
Kang with another big save. DeGrazia rebound try, and Kang comes up big again.
Well, just another great job in the crease there by Kang. Again, has not shown these shooters really anything to aim at for any extended period of time. He has been flashy and has really bailed out the Hawks and kept this thing close with that left glove.
Beacons control again off the draw shot. Deflected away through the pile. Kang had to scramble to control the rebound there. Vanis forward for Jenkins coming through center. Sean Jenkins has had a little bit of an up and down year. Working against Houston, goes flying into the boards. Heislip tries to attack the puck, but the Beacons able to work it free. McIntyre over the blue line. Fires across the crease into the near corner. DeAugustine tries to continue the cycle. Hawks find the available man in Vanis at center. Vanis sets the edges and tries to work it into the zone. Beacons control again. Florentino ahead for McIntyre, who just tips it forward. Under 5 minutes to go now. 2-1 lead still for UMass Boston. Goals from Weston and McIntyre. McKillop, the lone tally for Saint Anselm. It came on their first power play opportunity. Since then, the Hawks have gone 0 for 3 with a man advantage. Can't say St. A's hasn't had their chances. McKillop with a burst of speed over the left wing side. McKillop going to the net. McKillop, a shot off of Andrews. Might have caught a piece of the iron. Rivas trying to steer it out of harm's way. Loose puck behind the net. Sullivan turns, feeds it in front. Andrews with a tip to knock it away wide. Esty has it out at center, knocked down by Daniel. Tabano hit hard from behind, and there's a penalty coming here. Travis Daniel with a forearm right in the small of the back to Joe Tabano. Easy call for the official, and St. A's is going to get another power play chance here with 4:06 to go.
I'm not sure what you're thinking if you're the junior from New Jersey, Travis Daniel there. A whole lot of risk, not a whole lot of gain by lunging after a St. A's player in the neutral zone right in front of the official, and a dangerous play at that as Tabano nearly got sandwiched head first into the far side board. So a dangerous play, a needless play, and an irresponsible play if you're UMass Boston with just over 4 minutes to play as the Hawks go back on the advantage. Just what the doctor ordered, down by a goal.
Gagonis, a wrister into the pile, knocked down by Houston. Florentino rips it around the boards and out of the zone. 4 forwards here for the Hawks on the power play. And make that 3 forwards. They go with the traditional power play look. Gagonis and Merrill manning the points. Johnny Daniels gives it over to Mike Richard, who will carry over the blue line. Richard still holding into the corner. Around the boards for Merrill. Across the blue line to Gagonis. Down under the half wall, Daniels. Back to Gagonis. A drive deflected by Richard up and over the top. Mullen into the corner, Daniels. It's poked free. Kuhn gathers and sends it down the ice. 1:15 left on the power play, 3:20 left in regulation. Hawks need a goal to force overtime. Mullen, the drop pass for Daniels at center. He sends it around the boards. Merrill has to pinch deep to keep it in. Richard in the corner, looking for some help. Merrill is there to provide support. Merrill in the corner with a quick move of the stick. Daniels, the give back to Richard. Richard trying to cycle against Weston, as Weston pins it to the boards here. Now Mullen comes in to help out. Puck worked free into the near corner. Merrill goes to attack. Harvey can't scoop it out of the zone. Second try knocked down by Daniels. Out at center, Tabano controls. 35 seconds left. Hawks trying to change out the power play unit quickly. Tabano drifting back into his own end and behind his own net. McKillop going to make that Zabka along the near side as the puck knocked off of his stick and back into the Hawk end. 20 seconds left. Somebody had their stick slashed in half. That was Colucci. Tabano over the blue line. A quick shot blocked down by the Beacons. Rebound ripped to the corner. Tabano with it there. Zabka wants to get it out to the point. Zabka working to the faceoff dot. Finds Pascal. A drive. Kick save made by Andrews. Power plays expired. UMass Boston now in the vulnerable minute as Houston throws one off the body of Sullivan. Zabka in front. Has it kicked free. Daniel works back the other way. Tries to lead it forward for Houston. Broken up by Pascal once and again. Daniel still on the puck. Pascal throws a hard shoulder. Pascal around the boards. McKillop backhands it out to center. Bouncing puck kicked down as Tabano couldn't get underneath the stick, and Daniel tips it into the St. Anselm bench.
Well, with a minute 41, we're now on goaltender watch here as Robert Kang is on high alert. At some point, if Perhaps St. A's can win the face-off and push it down the other end. They'll pull Kang, and we'll get a 6-on-5. But first things first here, big face-off for Jenkins at mid-ice.
And Hyslop comes in to help win the draw. Mullen bats down a loose puck, sends it into the offensive end, takes a shot from behind by Crawford. Puck sent around for Travis Daniel, trying to kick to the stick. Hyslop, Jenkins converge. Merrill shot deflected by Mullen. Tries to turn around and fire one. Merrill broke his stick. He's not there, and the puck gets out of the zone. Merrill had to vacate the left point, tried to hustle back to the bench after he broke his stick. Jenkins hit hard at center, sends the puck in. Beacons try to send it around, and they get it out of the zone. Kang has to stay in the net. 1:08 to go. Rivas centering pass to Grazia was on an awkward shot and a score. Shot off the post by Daniel, deflects in off the backside of Kang. He thought it went wide and kicked out. And that's essentially going to do it here, as with a minute to go, UMass Boston takes a 3-1 lead.
I think you said it right, Ben. He caught Kang by surprise there as the shot comes back across the crease when it appeared like it was on its way to being cleared along the far side board. UMass Boston turns the table, fires a quick shot across the crease, and catches Kang by surprise. And a shame in a lot of ways, because Kang has been the most consistent player tonight for the Hawks, has made some saves, some brilliant saves on an individual effort. And now with the score 3-1, not sure if the final, if it stays like this, is really vindicative of the way Kang played by and large tonight.
I mean, you'll look at the final numbers. He's obviously going to have a lot of saves, probably approaching the 30-plus mark at this point. And you look back at all three goals. First one comes a minute into the first period, deflected out in front, never really got a good look at the shot. Second goal, same story. Turnover at the blue line, and again, another shot that he never got a good look at coming from the blue line. And then another instance there where he's figuring after he challenges the angle, if it gets by him, it's probably going to the corner 9.9 times out of 10.
Right.
And in this one instance, it deflects off the post and deflects in off his back skate, which, as a goalie, I don't know what you can do about that.
Not much. And not much you can do over the course of a 60-minute hockey game if your defense continually makes mistakes like we saw the Hawks do tonight. The offense is limited in shots on goal and goal production, only one goal to show, not helping the goaltender's effort. So nice job by Kang tonight. I think there was a little bit left to be desired from his teammates. But let's credit UMass Boston too, Ben. They came in, they got off to a slow start.
Quick shot on, loose puck at the top of the crease, swept out by the Beacons. Net is empty on the Saint Anselm end here with the final 40 seconds.
UMass Lowell got off to that slow start, but towards the end of the first period really established themselves.
Play blown dead. Andrews never really had hold of the puck, so I don't know why the whistle came, but officials having to break up some wrestling matches here as one of the Hawks has to be separated. That's Johnny Daniels. And the Hawks just trying to do whatever they can to even things out here now, but 2 goals in 28 seconds going to be hard to come by.
Yeah, especially against this Beacon team that has been stiff defensively all night long. They've got some players, as they open the penalty box door here, they've got some players who are good at the skill positions. They have speed overall, they have size, and a good goaltender as well in Zach Andrews, who quietly put together a nice game and what looks like is going to be a win for the goaltender. So this is a team moving forward that could definitely challenge Norwich in the ECAC as they're on their way to their 5th win in conference.
Yeah, this is one of the strongest years I think we've seen the conference over the past few. Daniels turns, wrist shot deflected, batted to the crease. Racing after it is Merrill. He dives to try and keep it in the zone. It'll be swept out though by Daniel. Hawks going 5-on-4 here after matching minors to Richard and Harvey. Provo has the puck dribble away. 5 seconds. He gets it forward to Tabano. His shot blocked and up and away by Richard, or Andrews, I should say. And that will do it for this one. A very difficult night for St. Anselm without one of their leading offensive players Tim King out with an upper body injury. Missing John Ahern, reigning ECAC honor roll member. And those two pieces, vital to the Hawks' success all year long. Not in uniform today in St. Anselm. Just not enough to get it done. UMass Boston avenges the early season loss and now splits the season series with the Hawks. A 3-1 win here on the road at Sullivan.
Oh, good effort. Guys went hard tonight both ways. For the Hawks, a couple of names. Gagonis, I thought, played pretty well. A couple of blasts from the blue line. Johnny Daniels played well both ways. McKillop was a playmaker, scored the lone goal to keep his hot streak alive. But again, inconsistencies at time, failure to clear the zone, failure to get some of those 50-50 pucks in the neutral zone ended up doing in this team. And, of course, turnovers in their own end really put a lot of unnecessary pressure on Robert Kang in net. So room for improvement. Ran up against probably a more put-together team at this point in the season in 15th ranked UMass Boston as they get their 12th victory of the season.
Now that'll do it for us. We will be back here to wrap up the conference weekend tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. start, as the Hawks will take on the Beavers of Babson College. Babson came in tied for second with St. Anselm in conference play, depending on their result against New England College tonight. That may change come tomorrow, so we'll have to find out what shape Babson is in as they try to avenge an early season loss as well to the Hawks. So we hope you'll join us back here tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock for St. Anselm and Babson. The final score from tonight's game, UMass Boston 3, St. Anselm 1. For our producer, Devin Langen, and my partner, Nick Anastos, thanks for watching St. Anselm Men's College Hockey at StAnselmHawks.tv, powered by the Pack Network.